Hi guys, so I've been promising this video for a while and I'm sorry that it's taken me so long to do it. It was a lot harder to do via spreadsheets because things were constantly changing. But I've found a platform that lets me do this and I figured I would share it with you and then also show you how that platform works. So today we're going to look at my total investment portfolio. So where I have different platforms and maybe the same position on multiple platforms, we're going to look at all of it put together and see what sort of story it's telling us. Now, a couple of things. You can follow me on this platform. It's completely free. And if you want to sign up, the link is down below. This video is not sponsored. But yeah, if you want to sign up, do this to your own portfolio or just follow my positions. So anytime that I'm updating, if I'm buying, if I'm selling, I'm going to update this portfolio on here because I like that everything is in one place. So like I said, link is down below. It does not include my Coinbase portfolio. It does not include my Trust Wallet, and it does not include my Moneyfarm portfolio. So what I'm going to do is initially quickly run through those two and then go through all the other sort of stock positions separately. Don't forget the markets are massively down at the moment. So a lot of these figures are a lot lower than I'm used to seeing. So for example, the returns on here are a lot less. But overall, at least the last time I checked, I'm still in the green. So although it's not as much as it was, it's still in the green. So I'm happy. Okay, so let's jump into Moneyfarm first, just because that's not included, like I said, on the other portfolios. So here you can see I've contributed £3,234 here. And the current market value is £3,329. So it's up 2.6%, which like I said, is lower than it's been previously. But if we click into it, we can have a look at the portfolio composition. So in terms of the performance here, the best performing is actually the FTSE 100, interestingly enough, closely followed by the S&P 500. And then in terms of the worst performing, we've got the Japan equities and the emerging markets equities. So you can have a look here at all of the different positions. Pause if you want to have a read through. But yeah, overall netting off to still a positive return, which I am more than happy with. So next, let's just have a quick look at the crypto that isn't part of my eToro portfolio, which we'll see in the overall portfolio. But here I've just made a spreadsheet just outlining what's in there. So I've got £489.60 of Bitcoin, 211.27 of Ethereum, 255.67 for Ethereum 2, which is essentially being staked. I've got £488.45 in Cardano, which is doing pretty badly at the moment. About £10 in Shiba. And then on Trust Wallet, I've got £215.98 in MetaHero and $215 in MetaHero and $52 in Seadrop. So these are very, very, very high risk and they have dropped massively for me. And I know that everything's dropping and high risk crypto therefore drops more in these times, but we'll see. I'm not going to sell. These are just like fun investments, if you will. So yeah, so overall, that's basically £1,450 in Coinbase and about £190 in Trust Wallet. So this is the current value. This isn't necessarily what I invested. And I tried to put this on the other platform that you'll see at the moment, but there are just so many transactions on Coinbase that I've had that it's just massively hard to track and to input every single transaction. So I'm just keeping it separate. And then like you saw, about 3,200 in Moneyfarm. So overall £4,880-ish that's on top of the other portfolio that you'll see. Okay, so now let's get into the meat of the portfolio. So the GetQuinn platform. So as you can see here, I've got an aggregated portfolio here of about £18,000. So if you add that to the £5,000-ish that we saw just before, we've got about £23,000 in my investment, which I am super, super, super happy with. But you can see here that my top position in terms of money is the S&P 500, which is great because that is actually what I was aiming for. So it's good to see that I'm not far off from that. That I'm not off from that at all. It is my largest position. Not by much though, it's very closely followed by realty income. So I've got £1,600 in realty. Then Unilever, which I've basically been adding to because it's been so down. You can see here it's currently down 10.7% for me. Oh, and by the way, I think this is like the daily intraday return, because if we look at the bottom, we can see here that overall the total return is currently sitting at about 6.1% up. We've got AstraZeneca in 4th place, which I'm actually surprised by. I didn't think they were my 4th largest position, so I'll probably alter that slightly. Probably replace it by something like National Grid, for example. You can see here I've got about £1,000 in National Grid, of which actually almost 200 is profit, so 23% up. And they are a fabulous, fabulous dividend player as well. FTSE All World High Dividend, so that's the next one. And you can see here, I'm not going to read every single one. Obviously, you can just have a read through and see my top positions in terms of money invested. Now we've got this other S&P 500 ETF here that I also hold, which is slightly different to this one here. And I think if you watch my updates, you know that one is sort of US dollar dominated and one is pound dominated. So actually, if we add these two together, then it increases the gap between the S&P 500 and realty. So whilst this is 2,000, we've got another 400-ish here. So about £2,500 in S&P 500. So then we get into these smaller positions here. Cardano and Ethereum, obviously I hold in my eToro portfolio, and that's outside of the Coinbase ones that I just showed you. And then we had Bitcoin up here as well. So this is only in eToro. And then what I showed you previously was on top of this. And then we get into the very, very small positions here, with NEO being the smallest position, although it is 51% down. So actually, in terms of money I invested, it wasn't £20, it was like £40, because it was like $50, I think, that I paid for it. And then during this time, you can see here I've sold out of these positions a little bit. Mostly this was just rebalancing. So other than Pfizer, which I got rid of since my last Trading 212 portfolio update, I actually sold out of Pfizer completely. Moving on, just so you can see what this platform does. You've got the breakdown here of your performance. So you can see here that actually £630-ish is from price gains, 420 is from dividends, and then £30 was realized gain from what I sold. And then I really like this breakdown here, which essentially you can break down your portfolio into regions, assets, positions, and sectors. So you can see here actually 57.98% of my portfolio is in North America, closely followed by Europe at 35.6%. And then essentially worldwide, other emerging markets, Japan and Asia. Now, if we have a look at assets, you can see here it's 66.68% in stocks, 30% in ETFs, and 2.3% in crypto. Although, like I said, that doesn't include that crypto from Coinbase, and the ETFs don't include the ETFs from my Moneyfarm ISA. But actually, out of these, currently my stocks are performing the highest. So they're up 4.6% as opposed to the ETFs and crypto. but crypto has taken a massive battering recently. So in terms of my positions, the S&P 500 ETF is the highest, so we've got 11.3% weight. Realty next with 9%, and Unilever, etc. So pretty much what you saw in terms of the money as well. And then sectors. This is what I really, really like on here as well. Although the dividends are really cool as well, which I'll show you in a second. But you've got healthcare here, 19%. That's my highest position. Followed closely by IT, consumer staples, and consumer discretionary. Then we've got just under 10% in each of utilities, real estate, financials, and then the small amounts in the other sectors you can see. And now my favorite part of this is the dividends chart. So the only thing I will note with this is that it doesn't really take into account the withholding tax, for example, for US stocks. So when you get dividends from US stocks, the platforms usually withhold the US dividend tax, so you don't actually get the full amount. So a lot of these figures here from US companies are shown before that tax is taken off, which is a bit annoying, but it's just nice to have a ballpark figure. And what I like is you can see here on this chart, they show you upcoming dividends that have been already announced. So I would prefer it to extrapolate and just say, well, you know, Realty pays their dividend every month, so it should show May, June based on previous data. But obviously no dividend is actually guaranteed, so until the company announces it, you can't really count on it. So you can see here in February I've got about £18.85 coming up, of which the biggest one is due to be Realty, surprise, surprise, closely followed by AT&T actually, which is pretty good. And then March, £4.50. The only other thing actually is sometimes the timing is not the same as when I receive it. So for example, Trading 212 are notorious for giving me dividends late. So where something, for example, here is shown in December, I actually didn't receive it until January, so these figures are slightly out for me. But still, it helps me track what I should be seeing. Okay, so that's about it. I hope this was helpful and useful and interesting to those of you who wanted to see my total investment portfolio all together in one place. Let me know if you have any thoughts on things that I should change. I know some people think I have too many positions, and I am whittling it down as time goes on. I think I mentioned in my last free trade update that there are certain positions I now want to exit, but I can't because they're down. So I have this rule that unless I'm like really believing that a company isn't going to survive, I'm not going to sell at a loss. I'm just going to wait it out because I don't need the money. So, you know, positions such as Oatly, etc., I will probably exit when they recover, if they ever recover. Otherwise, I'll just let them sit there. So other than that, I quite like having the diversification. I like having multiple positions, and also don't forget, I want the dividends. So I'm investing in a lot of dividend stocks in order to have monthly dividends. Anyhow, that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.